Welcome back everybody to Forza Motorsport, and today we're taking a look at the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray. Now this is part of the 8th generation of Corvette, nicknamed the C8, and production of the standard Corvette started in 2020, but this production of this E-Ray started in the summer of 2023, and it's a couple of firsts for the Corvette kind of brand, as it's the first ever hybrid Corvette. And it's the first ever all-wheel drive Corvette as well, and you add on to that the fact that it's also the first ever mid-engine Corvette. Obviously the E-Ray isn't the first of the mid-engine Corvettes. The standard Corvette from a few years ago was the first of those, but yeah, you've basically got a whole new platform and a whole new lookout with this car. Mid-engine, all-wheel drive, hybrid system, but yeah, on the whole, I do like the look of these new Corvettes, even though I'm not a big fan of the mid-engine layout. I just feel like they're trying to be too European in terms of their layout, configuration. One of the great things about the previous Corvettes, especially the C7, was that it was one of the last, properly quick front-engine rear-wheel drive cars going, and that's obviously been somewhat spoiled by the mid-engine layout on this. But still, it's got plenty of power going on under the hood, as it were. You now got 645 horsepower. 485 horsepower of that comes from the engine itself, which is a 6.2 litre V8. But then you add on the electric motor, which is powered by a 1.9 kilowatt hour battery, and you add on that 160 extra horsepower and you get up to 645 horsepower. So that is pretty good. And then you got 591 pounds-feet of torque on top of all of that, and couple of that power and torque with the fact that obviously the car is all-wheel drive, and this absolutely launches off the line. It's easily the quickest Corvette in terms of 0 to 60 time and in terms of quarter-mile times as well that has ever been made, and that is always something that I can commend, especially given this is all new to Chevrolet, because they don't make, I don't think they've ever made a all-wheel drive quick car before. They've certainly never made a quick mid-engine car before. I know they've made one mid-engine car prior to this, being the Pontiac Fiero, but that was not a quick car at all. And then you add on all that, it's also a hybrid. It's also got a decent amount of practicality as well, as you can see. Got a decent amount of space in the front there, and obviously you've got some space behind the engine, which is always nice. And then interior wise, it's just like pretty much the standard Corvette, to be honest. It's got a decent amount of buttons. It's got and it's not relying on its its LCD screen or anything like that for sub menus and stuff and the like. A little bit shiny for me, to be honest. There's a lot of chrome in here, which I'm not a big fan of, and it doesn't quite work alongside the carbon fiber. Carbon fiber at the end of the day is supposed to be lightweight, and yet you add on something that isn't lightweight and it just feels a bit muddled in terms of its direction. So not particularly great in that regard, but overall everything here is as it should be. And the only real issue with this is the fact of its weight, which due to the hybrid system is more than usual with Corvettes. So it does weigh 3,890 pounds, which is obviously quite a lot. But thankfully it does have carbon ceramic brakes to help bring that amount of weight to a halt as quickly as possible. So let's get onto a track and see what this car can do. Right, welcome everybody to Virginia International Raceway. So this is a pretty good circuit, this one, and it's got a couple of long straights on it as well to show off the kind of power and speed that this car has. So let's see what we can do. But as per usual, I will let you listen to the car first, and then we'll talk about it some more. So as you can see, it handles pretty well. although I do feel like it's got a little bit too much understeer at times due to the all-wheel drive system. But yeah, the power is pretty much always there. Whoa dear, it does like to twitch at times as well. The power is pretty much always there, purely because, you know, you not only got all of that torque from the normal, you know, V8 torque and the amount of power that that's giving out, but also the torque of the electric motor, which, yeah, is doing what a lot of hybrid supercars do, is it fills in the gaps between like gear changes, and yeah, is there to supplement the engine when it's not working at its 100% best. And yeah, it works brilliantly as a result of that. So as you can see, it's absolutely flying. And on top of all of that, the electric motor doesn't actually impact any of the, you know, the normal things that we like about a Corvette, which is how it sounds, for instance. You know, it's not turbocharging, it's not supercharging or anything like that. It's a supplement to the engine, and therefore the engine can just, you know, naturally breathe all on its own. And therefore the V8 still sounds pretty damn good. I am surprised that they've not downsized the engine though for a hybrid version. Even the Z06 version of this car, which we'll get to a review at some point, is a 5.5 litre V8, and that doesn't have any hybrid stuff in it. So yeah, I am surprised that this has as big as an engine as it does, given it is a hybrid at the end of the day. But still, 0 to 60 is dealt with in 2.485 seconds, which, like I said, it's the fastest Corvette in terms of acceleration to 60. 0 to 100 is dealt with in only 6.284 seconds, and it going to a top speed of 202 miles an hour, which again is really, really good. So yeah, no real qualms at all about, you know, the power and the acceleration, the top speed. It's just really that the weight is a little bit, you know, difficult to get used to, and then you've got the understeer on top of that. So yeah, it is a little bit, you know, unusual to get used to, and then you're on top of all of that, you've obviously got the new physics for this game. So yeah, you've got a lot to get used to with this car, because it does not handle like every other Corvette that's come before it, and probably isn't quite as agile up front as the standard Corvette is in this generation, or the Z06, which is, you know, more track orientated than this vehicle is. So, but yeah, overall I'm glad it's in the game. More different versions of cars that we've already had before is always a good thing as far as I'm concerned, especially when they are radically different to their standard counterparts, because this is nothing like the standard car outside of the way it looks, and yeah, it does absolutely shift. It's really, really cool how quick this car actually is, and yet you can even drive it on only electric mode up to a maximum of 45 miles an hour if you so wish. Corvette apparently, well, Chevrolet marketed that as a leaving your neighbourhood quietly mode, basically. Or also known as, whoa dear. Yeah, I'm still getting used to the handling, so it's not really the car's fault that. They also call it stealth mode as well, so yeah, which is a nice little feature. Obviously it's not something you'd be able to run on for very long, given it's only 1.9 kilowatts, which is obviously not a lot. It'd probably only get you a few miles if that. But it's still a yeah, nice little extra, and yeah, the all-wheel drive system certainly makes this a more usable car on a day-to-day basis. You know, you're not going to have to worry about the rear end stepping out too much when it comes to rain or anything like that. So overall, a very impressive car. Not my favourite Corvette by any means, but yeah, as far as Corvettes go in terms of the, you know, the C8 generation, it's definitely a really, really good one, and one I do recommend trying out. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.